Hey guys, it's your girl Miss G, and you know what time it is. It's G time. It's time to get up, get active, and get it together. My purpose is to give advice, encourage change, and empower success. The goal is for us to grow, elevate, and excel. Everyday action is required for change, and you have the power to create change. If you follow me, then you know that I'm on a series called W.A.P. I'm talking about working, willing, achieving, aspiring people making progress. I'm talking about winning attitudes that persevere. I'm talking about women achieving progress. I'm talking about waking up and praying, waking up and pushing, and doing everything that you can to make the changes in your life. I'm talking about you have the power to create change. And what better way than to not just tell you that you have the power to create change, but to give you people who are not just saying it, but doing it. My next person for this episode, she is, for me, the definition of perseverance. I'm going to give you the definition of perseverance just in case you don't know. Perseverance, persistence in doing something despite difficulties or delay in achieving success. Perseverance is the ability to keep doing something in spite of obstacles. People who persevere show steadfastness in doing something despite how hard it is and how long it takes to reach this goal. When I say that this next guest is the definition of perseverance, I mean it. And you're going to hear from her right now. You're going to hear her story, a little bit of her story, and it's just enough for you to understand why she's on this series of WAP. Our title today is called Long Way. It's called Long Way because what she says is, I've come a mighty long way. And yes, she has. So we are giving her this time to share what she's doing, to talk about what she has been through, and how she has gotten to the point she is right now. What she is doing to define the WAP, the winning attitude that perseveres. What she is doing to define what it means to wake up and pray, what it means to wake up and push, what it means to be a woman achieving progress, what it means to work. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. This is Ebony with A Mighty Long Way. All right. Hello, Ebony.
Hello.
How are
How
you
are
doing
you?
today? I'm good.
I'm I'm great in yourself.
I am so good. I'm excited that we are finally getting together, and I'm excited to share your new journey, your new business with everyone. So as we get started, I want you to introduce yourself and tell people how you got started with your business.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Ebony. I have started a business called Long Way Nails, and how I came up with that. Me and my 11-year-old daughter at the time, when quarantine started, when we first got on lockdown, we always watched YouTube tutorials with nails. So one day she just came to me and was like, Mom, can you give me a set from the beauty supply, the beginner kit, so I can do nails? I'm like, oh, okay. So we went to the beauty supply. So when we went, I'm like, oh, where's the place where I can put some nails on at? And she was like, oh, over here. I'm like, okay. So we got the set. We had set up outside on the porch. She had did 4 of my fingernails and I did hers. And then I was like, I like this. It was kind of like a stress reliever. I forgot about everything around me. I was there doing her nails, and it was fun. So I'm like, okay. So here we are, still watching the tutorials on YouTube. And then I was like, man, I'm going to start a class. And I have a nail tech that I've been going to for the whole quarantine,
Uh-huh.
um, getting my nails done. And her name on Instagram is KD Nails. So she been doing my nails for 9 months. So one day I was looking at her story and I saw her teaching a student on how to
Mhm.
do nails on a class. So I'm like, okay. So I hit her up. I'm like, girl, I didn't know that you do teaching. I said, how much you teach for? How much is it? So it went on from there. The class was $700. Well,
Okay.
$650. Use $50 extra for the practice hand. So I had paid $250 deposit, and then the rest on the day of my class, which I started on Labor Day. I
Wow.
started the training on that day. I did 3 hours. I went back a week later, which was on a Sunday, to do the other 3 hours. And then that's when she gave me my certificate that day. So then on, I've been practicing every day. I go to sleep practicing. I wake up practicing, go to sleep thinking about nails. It's like interesting. So, I just practice on my practice hand when I can't sleep. I screw it onto the table and I get to work. So that's how I came up with it. My daughter really, she gave me the idea.
That's awesome. While everybody's in this pandemic, we're quarantined. Some of us are finding it like not really able to utilize any like healthy coping skills. A lot of people are going crazy in the house because
Right.
there's not a lot to do. And so being able to use that time to grow yourself and then grow a business in that speaks a lot of volume, and it says a lot about you. It says a lot about your drive. So and I totally admire that. I saw you start it and
Thanks.
I was like, oh, that's tight. I was like, I can't do
That's
nails
what I
though.
said about you. I'm like, oh, that's tight. I've been knowing her since high school. And it's great to see people that have been through it. But it's not like I knew, like, I know you. But, people go through it and they still keep it pushing. And then to see, I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. So I got at you like, when I'm gonna get this G talk. I want to get up in that thing too. I
And I was
love it
excited.
how you was.
I was
Like how
totally
you came up
excited.
with it.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
know, we don't know each other. We don't know each other like tight, right? But we've been around each other for a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
so you were there when right out of high school, when I had my first child. I was there when you had your
Right.
first child,
Right.
right? And now I'm 3 kids in, you 4 kids in. And the
Yeah.
journey from teenagers to adulthood, it has been one heck of a journey, and it's not easy. And to be able to grow a business despite all of the odds, all of the obstacles, when people tell you you can't. I heard a lot of naysayers, especially having a baby right out of high school, like, you're not
Right.
going to want to finish college, you're not going to want to do this, you're not going to want to do that. And for me, that was my motivation, because you tell me I can, I'm going to show you 10 times I can.
Right. Right.
And I use that as fuel to push me. And I also use it as, when I had my son, I promised him before he was born that I was going to continue to strive and give him
Right.
the best that I could. And I see that a lot in you, especially as a single mom of 4. You've been on your grind, you've been pushing for a long, long time. So when I saw Long Way Nails, I said, oh, I need to know how she came up with this name. I know a little bit, but I would love for you to explain to people how you came up with the name Long Way Nails.
Okay, so I had came up with a lot of names, but one that stuck with me is I chose Long Way Nails because I have came a mighty long way. I come from the system, no parents, growing up in a foster home, which was with my auntie, wasn't the great, you know, growing up upbringing at all. Been in the streets pregnant since 16 with my son. In 10th grade, I was pregnant. Still graduated high school. I had to end up going to Somerset High in Bellflower. I ended up pushing through that, husband in and out of jail. I have a lot of church family. My godparents even read this is the reason why I am the way I am today. I can be burnt out still, but it's a time and a place. It's like they planted seeds in me. If your mother or father never did it, if you was never taught, if you got people around you that's not motivated and just could party, hang, smile, and all of that, it doesn't mean anything. And it's like I don't want that around me. I already had that around me growing up. I've been knowing how it felt. I felt all this pain while other people had parents, had family, was getting raised by their family. It was just me out here in the streets. No, I've been through a lot, and it's just like, no matter how many times I fell, I got up with
Right.
kids because 4 kids was looking at me, regardless if I had relations and had them and pushed them out. At the end of the day, they didn't ask to be here. I chose to have my kids, and my kids are looking up at me. So coming from where I come from, as far as not being not having a mother or father, it made me push to be a parent, just something to prove to the family that I was born into. That's the only thing I want to prove out here, is to the family that I was born into. Doesn't matter what you go through or whatever you was on. I come, my real mother's a crackhead and PCP head, the father too. I have a Mexican side, I have a black side. I don't conversate with anyone. I have more water family than blood. It's
Right.
a lot of, people that has been there for me, like my church or my mom and my pops, just in planting seeds, like, hey babe, you shouldn't do that. Or, just explain, just one person that will teach you. And they was that pastor and wife. I was raised by people that love the Lord, but they taught you the wrong way. So
Mm.
I steered away with God. But my moms and my pops, when I was 15, they came into my life and they planted seeds. May have took me a while to change
Right.
mentally, because you can have self-discipline, but people need to have self-discipline mentally.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what people don't got. It's like stuff you used to do, just go the other way. Just go
Right.
the other way. Just go against the grain. I always went to the other side while the whole crowd was going this way. I never was liked because I'm Mexican and black. Mexicans didn't like me because I wasn't all Mexican. Blacks didn't like me because I wasn't all black. So here I am, other. So it's not like I had friends in that matter. It was
Right.
just, at the end of the day, it was just me and my kids. Their dad did a lot of in and out of prison, 14 and a half years. I stuck with that, got out for 2 months doing 6-year sentence, and got killed.
Right.
So that killed me. And at the end of the day, my kids are watching. It's
Right.
like, you can love, you can care, you can say whatever, but you have to show. You have to do it. You have to prove. People just talk, 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 talk. All my life, people talked and lied. So it's up to you to change. So a little bit into that, here I am today in 2020. I mean, I'm not perfect. I have flaws like everyone else. I'm
Like
still working
everybody
on it.
else.
I'm still
Right.
crusty and rusty in a whole lot of areas. But what I do know, I started to change my frame of thinking. I started to hush. I started to listen. Even though I knew God, I steered away for a minute, but it's because by the grace of God, I'm still here and the Lord is real and still doing miracles right now in 2020, regardless of whatever chaos.
Right.
And if people don't believe, I feel that I am living proof. So people can know, dang, Ebony, like, you strong. I have 4 great kids, 2 sons, 2 daughters. One's about to be 18 this month. Daughter turned 15, son turned 13, daughter turned 12. So now it's like, they're great kids. I had to keep them happy doing this. They go through stuff also. So if I'm not strong, how's my kids going to be strong? If I don't
Right.
get it together, how I'm supposed to teach my kids? At the end of the day, it's about no one. It's about the
Right.
kids that I had. And I have to make sure that they good mentally. They're all good in school, 2.0, 2.76, 3.0, and 2.75.
Okay.
My
Okay.
daughter is my daughter is she just turned 15. She's a freshman. She's currently a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
She's about to be a junior. She's 20 minutes of credits, 20 credits away from being a junior. She just turned 15. So she was
Yes.
already ahead of the game. I am a single parent. Whether
Right.
if you
Right.
had kids early or not, I had got pregnant at 16, had them at 17. So whatever you go through, if you just put your mind to it, regardless of what people say, regardless, oh, don't do that. I don't think you should do that. No, girl, because it's going to be a lot. of this, and it's been like this my whole life, like the devil
Right.
been on you and will not let
Right.
go. That's because it's something in you that other people cannot do. They cannot
Man.
figure it out. They can't, so they want to hate on me or the people that are getting it together mentally. You can have a house, car, the flyest thing, flyest of everything, material stuff, but you know, mentally, your brain is $1,000,000. Is
Right.
priceless. People think is, you know, the
Right.
money, but it's not. But that's how I came up with Long Way. Because
That
when you
is
come to my office, I'm hooking my office up at this moment. And when you come, you're gonna see why I didn't put Long Way nails on my little decoration and hooking up my office. She came a mighty long way. And if
man.
people know me, they're gonna know why. It's
Right.
real personal, and that's how I came up with Long Way
I
nails.
love that. I love that. Oh my God, I love that. You said I don't even have a lot of questions because you just covered everything right there. The one thing I that I point out is you said it starts in your mind, right? And I always say you have the power to create change. You know,
Right.
people can give you as much as they can, right? I can pour into you, somebody else can pour into you, but you have to be in charge of your change. You have to control that. And it starts with your mind. It starts with what you tell yourself. If you don't believe you can do it, then you won't do it. But you have to start speaking positivity over yourself.
For
You know,
yourself.
the Bible tells us that death and life lies in the power of your tongue. And so when you're speaking over yourself, when you're encouraging yourself, it doesn't matter what you've been through, even though those things will help you to push further and further, you can overcome anything that you want to overcome if you believe that you can do it, especially with God on your side, because there is
Right.
nothing that you can't do without God, right? With
Right.
God, you can do anything. All things are possible with God. He tells you that Philippians 4:13. I have wait, let me pause it. I got to get my scripture right because it's my favorite scripture. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, right? And so I
Right.
truly believe that I can do all things. You believe that you can do all things. And it doesn't matter how many times you fall. It's about how you get back up.
Right.
And for somebody else, falling may just be the end for them. But for you, you have shown that, yeah, I fell. Yeah, I got kicked a couple times while I was down too. But I continue to rise above everything and anything in my way. And that's how you come to she's come a mighty long way.
Right.
That in itself is just a whole message. It's hard to even put more words on top of what you said. And this is why I created the series W.A.P.
Whoa, go girl. I'm like, why? Why? What?
And I knew that people would say, wait, what? Did you say WAP? And I'm like, yeah, WAP. Oh, you thought I was talking about what she was talking about? Oh, absolutely not. You know,
Right.
I'm talking about something positive, something that you can say. It's easy for people to use that terminology and be like, oh yeah, I got that WAP. No, I got that winning attitude that perseveres.
Right.
I'm working and pushing. I'm waking up and praying. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my WAP. That's what I'm about. And if I can teach my girls, if I can teach somebody else to just use what you have and do what you want to do, the sky is the limit. And so
Right.
I truly appreciate you just telling, and that's just a little bit of your story.
Right.
That's just a little bit of your story. I truly appreciate you telling your story and then showing how you have come out of that and how you're still working through that. Because there's no
Right.
magic. You don't just wake up and now you're great.
No.
The enemy gonna continue to try to break you down and go,
Just like this morning, he didn't want me to do this video.
uh,
My Wi-Fi is everything paid, AT&T. Today I woke up, I gotta get this meeting.
right.
Called for 30 minutes on the phone. It's an outage. I'm like, I'm finna do this on my phone.
Right.
I'm getting on that. Every time I want to do positive, the enemy always tries to come, but you have to be strong mentally. It's
Right.
everybody's mentality. That what makes you different. If you
Right.
move, if you think alike, if you talk like everybody else, yeah, I can do that. But I'm going against the grain. That person to come out when that person comes out at that time. But other than that, your mentality is what's going to make you or break you.
Right.
You
Yeah, it would
either
have been
grow
easy.
or die.
Right.
Because these days, everybody mentality that's going on right now is the same.
Right.
Everybody's doing the same thing. I want to be different. I don't move like y'all. I could, but I choose not to. It's a choice in life.
Right. Right.
And the
Yeah.
choice I choose is to go down the other way. It doesn't matter. I don't need no handouts. I do have a spouse that does support me in everything I do, which I never had. And I know it's the Lord because my own mother didn't even move for me. Father, blood, anyone. Not that I expected anybody to. You can just move. Hey, you want to come over for some dinner? Girl, yeah, I'm bringing the sodas. Stuff like that. It doesn't
Right.
have
Right. Right.
nothing to do with money. It's just family time that I never had, that I pushed to be in people's life, but people's on other levels, which
Right.
is fine. But
Right.
for me, I don't need that around me because it doesn't make, it feels like the past. If
Right.
anything that makes me feel like how I did in the past, you have to let it go because you will
Right.
not grow. And as soon as you cut everybody off, you're acting funny. No, ma'am. No, sir. I just want my kids to be successful. And in order for them to be successful without having to try to figure out a way right now at 35, I need you to figure it out while you're in school, while you're about to finish school. I have my older two kids, my junior and my sophomore, already doing classes right now to be an
Right.
artist. I don't need them in the streets out here.
Right.
I need them to stay somewhere, make this money. You can get a house.
Right.
You don't have to be on Section 8. You don't have to be on affordable housing. We can, but the OGs haven't taught us anything. We're going to be the OGs now. We're the OGs we're going to be the big mamas.
Right.
We're going to
Right.
be that. And if we're not that, how are we supposed to change the future? How are we supposed to change the game? We can't,
Man.
because the game don't remain the same over here. The apple
Mm-hmm.
do fall from the tree. You feel me?
Right. Right.
It do fall really far over here. But if it was some positive, then okay, I'll take that saying. But all them OG back in the day sayings needs to go. It have expired. It is 2020. All the
my pa-
OGs today we can't go to. We
my
can't learn
pastor.
anything from.
Right. Right. My pastor says that if you can't grow with me, you can't go with me.
Right.
Right. I
And
get
it's
it.
nothing personal. It's
Right.
just you want to elevate and grow, like you said. And when you came with
Exactly.
that, I'm like, oh, girl, this girl fire. I love the way you think. It's great when you have minds that's like you. I mean, it can't, not exactly, but we're on the same page.
Right.
You not in that same exact, but we're still on the same page. If I can have people around me on the same page, I can have you around me, because it's like death to something, to life. You
Right.
can't have death and life in the same thing. It's either
Right.
life or death. There's no in between. With
Mm-hmm.
me, it's either you with me or you ain't. Ain't no in between. Ain't no calling whenever.
Right.
You gonna ride or you ain't. You feel me? Because I'm a ride. I'm a
Right.
ride.
Right. Right.
For the good and all that. I'm trying to change. I want to be somebody to where somebody could look up to. Oh, I want to be like that. I didn't have nobody to teach me. So the people around me, oh, I want to be like, oh, I want to look, oh no, I don't want to look like that. Oh, I ain't gonna do that. You get a little bit of game off little certain people
Right.
and add it to you, and you're like the world. That's how you could change the world. Be
Right.
yourself.
I
Don't try
mean,
to be what everybody else do.
look at where you are right now. You're showing people that even through a pandemic, you can still push yourself to higher limits, right? You can still push yourself somewhere further. You've created a business in the middle of a pandemic.
My
Right.
life was a pandemic. My life been
Hmm.
a pandemic since 7 years old. I've
Wow.
been here. I done this. I've been done 2020. My whole life been 2020. My whole
Hmm.
life has been a pandemic. I am going through it now. still trying to be in family or trying to be, oh, well, you did this, you did. That's not even about that, man. We all come from the same. Some have come from the same. You either gonna make it or you ain't. You either gonna get with it or you not.
Right.
Some people don't like correction. Some people don't like for you to tell them the truth because the truth hurts. But if you got somebody in your life that's going to tell you and keep it real with you and don't have your business out there, it's a lot of people I don't talk to and their business is still with me. Because at the end of the day, it's like if you're my friend or if you're this associate or this and I talk to you about something and you go talk about me, what are you around me for? But if I'm telling you about yourself and you can take the criticism, it's not even criticism. Somebody see you, been around you your whole life and see you going the wrong road, but don't say nothing because they wanted to see where you're going to go and how far. If you're going to fall right into the hole, nobody want to help these days. It's not about helping with money. It's about what you said, empowering, lifting up, changing. You know, the game don't remain the same. We got to change. It's 2020 and it's time to make a change. We are the people. We can do it. And that's how we going to change the game. You, me, boom, somebody else see your show. Boom. It don't have to change. You don't have to be. I'm a hood celebrity. I don't have to be a celebrity. I'm a hood celebrity. People got my name in their mouth, and I haven't even talked to people for years, or I have seen them, or I don't see you like that. My name is floating. It ain't flowing on being a whore or none of that. It's flowing on being, dang, Ebony done been down. That girl, whoop. How do you do it? Now you calling me, asking me. I used to be the type to put my stuff on Facebook because I never had nobody to talk to. So when I put it on Facebook, somebody, I needed opinions or I needed, hey, what happened? Now I don't do it no more. I haven't did that in over a year. So now people texting me, how do you get through? The Lord. You got to get to praying first. Tell him to change you. Tell him to give the strength to change your mind, renew a right spirit in me. And everything you going through in your past, in order to move forward, you have to accept your life and you have to accept it and let it go. If you don't accept it, you're still going to go like this, chasing your tail. You're not going to grow. You have to do the serenity change. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Right.
Regardless of me steering away from the Lord, I know the Lord real. Why? Because I'm still standing today. I've been in these streets protecting myself and my foe. My kids are great. Life is great. I don't have no complaints by the grace of the Lord. You feel me? And people around you that plan to see you positive seeds or just their ear to listen. I don't talk to nobody. I talk to the Lord. That's the only one that's going to move mountains. And that's the only way you're going to make it through.
When I say that you are saying a whole mouthful, and it's just amazing to me because I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm reminded just of the message that was at church on Sunday. You know, my pastor was talking about stirring up the gift. He talked about exactly what you talked about somebody pouring into you and you pouring into somebody else. And I'm just, in my mind, I'm so grateful because I know that what you are saying right now, somebody hasn't heard it, right? I've heard it, but somebody hasn't heard it. And somebody needs to hear it from you. They need to know that I'm not just talking, right? I'm not just saying it. I'm not just making it look pretty. Oh no, this is not easy. And it's not pretty sometimes. It's hard. And sometimes it gets frustrating. Sometimes I get discouraged. Sometimes I just want to quit altogether, right? Because it's really hard when you're in a world like this where there's so much negativity, where, you know, W.A.P would mean something completely different, and that probably gets 1 million views. But when you're talking about something positive, when you're talking about a winning attitude that perseveres, don't nobody want to hear you. If I was out here cussing and shaking my butt, I wouldn't be
everybody
saying
like that what they are.
Right. The likes and the subscribes, I wouldn't even have to ask for them because it would already be there. But this is what I know that God has created me to do. If I have just one that listens, I know that I'm still living in my purpose and I'm still doing what he's called me to do. And to hear you speak the way that you speak, it's just so overwhelming. I'm sitting here holding back tears, just like, come on, Ebony, tell somebody. They need to know. And I really admire your strength and your perseverance and the way you continue to go. And if I could do anything to continue to help you to grow, I would do that. I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna tell them to go to Instagram and look you up on Long Way and to book an appointment. You are right where you're supposed to be. And
Amen.
the people in your area, the people in your community, the young girls looking up to you, Black, Hispanic, mixed, not mixed, everybody's looking up to you. You do have something and you are welcome, regardless of whoever told you wasn't. You are.
Right.
You are enough. You are enough Black. You are enough Hispanic. Did I say it right?
Right.
I want to get it right.
At the end of the day, we all as one.
Right.
But the people got different definitions of love. It's only one definition of love, and that love's come from God. And if it don't feel like that to me, I gotta let it go.
Right. He said you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were made in his image. So you are enough just how you are. And you're speaking somebody's language right now. They need to know that they can use that little extra that they got to create a whole business.
Right, because where little becomes much, like my pops always said at church, where little becomes much. It's people out here that will teach you game.
Right.
It's people, because the game is to be sold, not told,
Hey,
but
doctors do the same thing. You will not get
it's some out there that's very unconditional, just like you, and that'll help you grow, and that'll give you some game. And them are godly people to me. Them are God-like people, because love is love. It's only one love. It's not, oh, I love you, but I'm mad at you, so I don't love you right now, but then I'll come to you. No, love is love. It's either you unconditional or you not. And it's people, God placed people in your life to give you the game, to give you the answers to your prayer, and it's just like, I really enjoy this opportunity because it's like therapy to me too. So I appreciate it, Miss G Talk,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was feeling a little down yesterday and last night, and it lifted my spirits up and let me know, keep it pushing, because you're a motivation to me also, so I appreciate you, and I appreciate this moment, and hopefully we could get some OG time.
Absolutely. I'll be I should be checking you out soon. I'll be out there next month.
All right.
So go ahead and give people where they can find you at.
Well, you can find me on Instagram, longway_nails, and I'm gonna pop up like this.
We're gonna go ahead and make sure that we put that underneath under your name as well, so that people can find you. I also have a link there where they can find you as well. I truly appreciate you coming in and sharing your story, telling us how you come a mighty long way, and how you've come to the name of Long Way, and just encouraging people, letting them know that they can do the same thing. It's all about your mind. It's all about how you change your mindset. And again, you have the power to create change, and you've shown just that. It's G time. She's growing, she's elevating and excelling. She already know what it's about.
Right. Go, girl. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt.
All right. That was such a good episode, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I love sitting here and talking with Ebony because she just gives me such inspiration and hope, and I love that she shared a little of her story with you all, and showed you just exactly what she means by she's come a mighty long way. I believe in her drive, and I pray for nothing but success and prosperity in her business, Long Way Nails. Check her out. She is starting and she is getting to where she wants to be. And that is why she has that W.A.P. She has a winning attitude that perseveres. She continues to push. And you know what? That's all I'm trying to do here. It's just share and spread light on people who are out there and who are on their grind and who are pushing towards change. We all have a story. We all have a background. We all have something that we can share with somebody else. My story may not be for you. Her story may not be for you. But there's somebody out there that can tell you that I've been through this, that I've gone through this, and this is what I'm doing to try to push myself to get to another step. That's all I heard in this, was that I've been through a lot, I've gone through a lot, but I'm continuing to push myself and give myself better for not just me, but for the 4 children that I have. And what else can you say when you talk about a winning attitude? Continues to push, continues to grow, and continues to make progress. Thank you for sharing it with me. Again, guys, go and check her out. She's on Instagram at Long Way Nails, and we'll have the Instagram up after this video. Have a blessed one. We're on that series, W.A.P.